completed
conference
our
will now be recorded.
total enterprise structure configuration, which is required for our business process. Now, let's try to get into the next chapter, a new one. And this particular topic, we try to call it as master data. Master data. Now, the reason why we are trying to work with this master data. Now, if you want to record a transaction, if you want to create an order, a delivery, a billing document, we require master data. No master data, you cannot work with transaction data. And when we try to talk about this master data, now who will be responsible for data maintenance? So master data maintenance will be handled by end users. It is going to be their day-to-day job role. So end users are going to be responsible for master data maintenance. And in SAP, we are having different set of master data, what we can work it out. Okay. So first master data, we try to call it as customer record. Now, normally we name it as a business partner. We call it as a business partner. Second master data is going to be customer master. Third master data is going to be called as vendor master or supplier details. Fourth, we try to deal with material master. Fifth, condition records. Sixth, customer material info record. Then we have seventh one on the name of bill of materials. Eighth, GL accounts, general ledger accounts, where your transaction values are going to be getting posted. These are all going to be an examples of master data. Okay, these are all going to be some examples of master data. And all these 8 master data we are going to be learning as part of sales and distribution. Okay, and please remember who will be responsible, end user. So they are going to be responsible for master data maintenance. So why we are trying to learn it? Because we need to train the user. Because when you try to build SAP application for any business team members don't know how to use SAP application. So you need to train them how to create master record, how data maintenance need to be done, so that they learn and they try to perform that activity. So you need to know what data maintenance need to be performed. That is the reason we are trying to work on that. Okay. So here, when we try to work out with this master data, again, we need to know what is going to be the job role of consultant and what is going to be the job role of end user in master data maintenance. We are going to be looking into 2 job roles, job role of a consultant and job role of an end user in master data maintenance. So the first thing, what we are going to be learning, how to create a business partner. Okay, how to create a business partner. And for that particular business partner, we are going to be adding a role of a customer. We are going to be adding the role of a customer. That is what we try to learn. Business partner, and to that particular business partner, how to add a role of a customer. Now, we have a definition for this particular business partner. Person who do business. Person who do business with the company. Person who do business with the company, we are going to be calling it as a business partner. It can be a customer, it can be a vendor, it can be a salesperson, or it can be a contact person, anybody. If a person is doing any kind of transaction with the company, we call him as a business partner. Simple. Person who do business with the company, we name it as a business partner. Now, once you create a business partner, we need to tell the system that business partner you have created is acting as a customer or a vendor or a salesperson or a sales employee. Okay, so that is the reason we are going to be adding role of a customer to business partner. We are going to be creating a business partner, and to that particular business partner, we are going to be adding a role of a customer. Okay. Now, how exactly these things are going to be done in the system? Can I create a business partner directly? No, it is not going to be possible. Now see, I'm just trying to show you why it is not going to be possible also. So I'm just trying to log in into the system. And once you log in, see. So we use a transaction code called as BP. We use a transaction code called as BP over here. And once you try to click on enter, we have this particular page. Okay. And in this particular page, we try to click on organization, create organization. So when you try to click on this create organization over here, okay, so when you try to click on this organization over here, this is how the page is going to be looking. If end user need to create a business partner to maintain all this particular data, the first step, we need to maintain grouping. If grouping is not selected, we cannot create a business partner. And here we have different roles which need to be maintained. Okay. So all that particular settings as a consultant, we need to put down in the backend. All that roles we need to put down in the backend. So we need to understand what is going to be the role of a consultant in creation of a business partner and adding a role of a customer. So that is the first task what we are going to be doing it up. Job role of what is the job role of SD consultant? We are going to be discussing that. Now, as a consultant, there are going to be certain configurations we do in the system. Now, that is what we try to call it as configuration data. So try to adapt this particular terminology. Configuration data is nothing but the activities you do on backend application. Activities performed on backend application. We are going to be calling it as configuration data. Activities you do on backend application. Now, what is the name of the backend? Display IMG. Any activity you do as part of backend, we are going to be calling it as configuration data. So to create a business partner, adding the role of a customer as a consultant, what is the configurations you need to perform on the system? So there are going to be certain steps you need to remember. First step, we are going to be working out with customer account group. We try to call it as create customer account group. It's going to be the first step. Second step, we need to define customer number ranges. That's going to be the second step. Third step, we try to work out with assigning customer number ranges. We try to assign customer number ranges to what? To customer account groups. Then come down to the fourth step. We try to work out with partner determination. Then we have fifth step over here. Now, fifth step, we need to work out with BP groupings. We try to work out with BP groupings. Sixth step, we need to define BP number ranges. Seventh step, we need to assign BP number ranges to BP grouping. That's going to be seventh step. And then we have eighth step over here. Eighth step. So that is going to be the last step over here, eighth one. Now, eighth step, we need to maintain the link. We call it as master data synchronization. Master data synchronization. Okay, so in this particular step, we try to maintain the link between customer account group to BP groupings. That is what we are going to be doing it up. So these are going to be 8 steps what we are going to be doing it up in the system. If any of these particular step is not performed, end user cannot go for creating a business partner and add a role of a customer for that. So these particular steps, these 4 steps is going to be with reference to customer record. These 4 steps are with reference to customer record. 5th, 6th, 7th. This particular step is with reference to business partner. And 8th step. This step is the link between business partner and the customer record. Okay. So these are the steps what we are going to be doing it up in the system. So we are going to be creating a BP. Now, what are the things we are going to be learning as part of this particular topic? First step, we are going to be creating a business partner. After we do the configuration from the backend, these activities is going to be the job role of end user. Now, what our end user is going to be performing. So we are going to be creating a business partner. That's going to be the first step. Now, once we try to create a business partner, then what happens? To that particular business partner, we are going to be adding a role of a customer. Okay. So that is what we are going to be doing as our first thing. Once you create a business partner, add a role of a customer, we are going to be learning how we are going to be extending the customer. Extend the customer record to multiple sales areas. Okay. So we are going to be learning this particular thing. How to extend the customer record to multiple sales areas. Then how to unblock customer record. Okay. And then we are going to be performing how to add multiple shipped parts. Okay. I'm just trying to put down this particular point, but later when we try to work on it, we are going to be looking into it. What you mean by the shipped parts? How to add multiple shipped parts for a sold part. These are the things what we try to perform from end user point. And apart from that, there are going to be few more things. So here we are going to be understanding how to maintain field status in customer record or in BP. Now again, this particular thing is going to be the role of consultant. I'll just try to put it over here. It is not going to be role of an end user. That data is going to be maintained with the help of consultants. So how to maintain field status. We try to learn that particular thing. Okay. So these are the things what you need to remember. So in an interview, if they ask what was your job role in creation of a business partner, you need to explain all these particular steps. So as an SD consultant, you are responsible for maintaining the configuration data which is required for customer record. These are the steps. You are responsible for maintenance of configuration data required for the business partner. Okay. So once all these particular things are done in the system, then our end user can create a customer BP, add a role of a customer, extend that customer to multiple sales areas, and based on the business requirement, they can block and unblock the customer record and add multiple shipped parts for a sold part. So all these steps is what you need to put down. And that is what we are going to be learning. Okay. So that's what I wanted to explain it. like how we are going to be performing all these particular steps. One by one, we try to do the configuration, we enable the settings, and we try to create a customer record, and we check what data maintenance need to be performed in that.